Hello friends, welcome to another session on numerical analysis. In this session, I am going to introduce you another important method of solving the initial value problem, particularly the predictor corrector method. That is the second corrector method, which is known as Mylands-Simpson's method, or simply the Mylands predictor corrector method. So what actually this Mylands predictor corrector method is? This method is also the multi-step method, and it also intends to solve the first order initial value problem. So the first order initial value problem, which consists of the first order differential equation, which is the dy by dx is equal to f of xy, with the initial condition y of x0 is equal to y0. That is nothing but at the point x is equal to x0, y equal to y0 will be given. So that initial condition will be given. So the differential equation with the initial condition that constitutes the initial value problem. Since the differential equation is of order 1, we can say that the initial value problem is of order 1. Now here first what we have to do, we now, in order to compute, what is our objective? Our objective here is you please try to understand at this point. If you compare this with the previous method of Adams-Bashforth, in the Adams-Bashforth the value at which we want to compute the value of y, we used to take it as x1. In fact, that was the thing. Therefore, in the formula, we were having y1 equal to something, y1 equal to something, both predictor and corrector formula. But here we are having slightly different thing to observe. What is that? The point at which we want to compute the value of y is taken as x4. That is very, very important. So here first you understand Mylands predictor corrector method is also 4-step method, because it requires the 4 starting values to use in the predictor formula and as well as in the corrector formula. So it is a 4-step formula. 4 values are required, 4 starting values are required. Those 4 starting values may be supplied to you in the given problem itself, or sometimes you are assigned to evaluate those 3 values. One will be initial condition given, 3 values if you evaluate using any one of the known single step method. So that may be the chance you may have that assignment also in the course of your solution. Totally 4 starting values can be used. Therefore, it is a 4-step method. And this 4-step method, in this 4-step method, the value at which the value of the unknown, of course, that is y, at which we are intended to find the value of that particular unknown, we take that value as x4. Instead of x1, we used to take it as x4. So therefore, in order to compute the value of the unknown y at the point x is equal to x4, so usually x4 will be taken as x0 plus 4h. So x0 will be the initial condition given, initial value given from the initial condition. So x0 plus 4 times of this interval of difference in h. So that will become x4, and the value of y at x4 means we want to compute y4 using the so-called Mylands method. So that is the thing we have to do. For that purpose, what we are doing, we are saying here that it is given to us the value at the point x is equal to x0, y equal to y0. This is the initial condition given. Just now I told you. Here we are there x4. At the point x4, we are intended to find the value of y. So in order to compute the value of y at x4, we have to have previous 4 values. That is, this value we need, this value we need, this value we need, and this. So what are the values? Previous to this, x3 will be there definitely, and previous to this, x2 will be there, and previous to that, x1 will be there, and at the leftmost side, x0 will be there. So this x0 will be the given point. It will be given in the initial condition. The value of x0 and the corresponding value of y0, that will be the given initial condition. And using that, you can go on finding the value at this point, and this point. There is y1, y2, y3 we can find out. along with these three values and this y naught. So totally four values will be taken as the starting values. So that is the thing what I have written over here. So compute the value of y at the next point, that is x1, x2, x3 by using any one of the known methods, namely Picard's method and Taylor's method can also be used. So using those methods, once we calculate the value of y1, y2, y3, y0 is already in our hand because of the initial condition. So there will be totally four initial, that is the starting values. Now with these starting values, we can proceed to the formula of predictor by the Mylands method. So what actually the Mylands method is, what predictor formula of Mylands method is, let us derive it. So again in this session I am going to derive only one formula, that is the predictor formula. For the corrector formula you have to view my next video. So therefore let us move on to derive the predictor formula at this time. Now the given differential equation dy by dx has been systematically written by separating the symbol dx to this side. Now integrating this between the limits, this is very important, x0 to x0 plus 4h, because we are at the point of x4. We are intended to evaluate that at the point x4. So x4 stands for x0 plus 4h. This is very straightforward. We are asked to find the value of y at x4. That is the question that we have to do. So x4 is nothing but x0 plus h, x0 plus 4h. So therefore we have to integrate between the two limits, x0 the lowermost limit and the upper limit is x0 plus 4h. So these are the limits we have taken on both sides. So integration with respect to y here and with respect to x here. Now keep the right hand side as it is. Don't do anything right now to the this portion. Keep it as it is. Don't do anything. Only thing we have to integrate one with respect to y. The answer is y. In fact, y is a function of x. So y of x, let us write. Now here the lower limit is x0 and upper limit is x0 plus 4h. Now let us substitute the upper limit first, that is y at x0 plus 4h. In place of x we have to substitute the upper limit. In place of x we have to substitute the lower limit with the minus sign. So keep the right hand side as it is. Now we have to simplify. Once we simplify, what will be the value of x0 plus 4h? x0 plus 4h will be x4. So y at x4 will be y4 definitely. Y at x0 will be y0. Other things as they are. So in the next step, what should be done? Let us take this y0 to that side. Y0 is the known value. Why can't we take it to the right hand side? Left hand side, let it be only the unknown, that is y4. So y0 you take it to this side, it will become plus y0. So y0 plus some increment, that increment we are intended to find. That is the most important job we have to do now. Now what is there? The second term on the right hand side of equation number 2, that is this equation, is very challenging. It cannot be determined as it contains the unknown dependent variable y. So the dependent variable y is the unknown. It is integrand is possessing that particular dependent variable. So therefore it is quite difficult. So how can we proceed? We can approximate that y with some interpolation formula. That interpolation formula which we are going to use in the case of Mylands method is Newton's forward interpolation formula. Very important. You please try to remember this. In the case of Mylands, we will be using the Newton's forward interpolation formula to approximate this y. And ultimately it will be approximation for f of x comma y. There is no confusion with that. So what is that particular formula? That formula is at the point x0. You please see, the point is at x0. About the point x0 we are interpolating the function y. So the corresponding value of f will be written like this. So f0 means f at x0 y0. That is here. Y0 is approximated using the so-called interpolation formula. Now r is the coefficient. R into bracket r minus 1 into bracket r minus 2 divided by 3 factorial is the coefficient, and here r into bracket r minus 1 divided by 2 factorial, they are the coefficients. I hope you remember from my lecture on interpolation Very well. So these are the coefficients, and the terms will have, here there is no difference term, here the first order difference term, here the second order forward difference term, here the third order forward difference term of f at the point x naught. So that is the thing we are having. And now we can substitute this. Before going to substitute this, we have to simplify this. What is the simplification? Merely it is the multiplication of these brackets, that's all. So once we multiply these brackets and write these 2 factorial as 2 and 3 factorial as 6, we get this particular expression. And here only r is the variable now. Now x has gone totally from this expression, you can observe. X is not at all there. Now we have to say that when x has gone, what is the new variable? New variable is r. So what is the value of r? The value of r is given by this formula. And how this formula is obtained? By obtaining by this particular expression. We know that the general point is x, the variable is x. It is to be taken as, in the interpolation, we take it as x naught plus rh. So you transfer this x to this side, it will become x minus x naught divided by this h. So it is now the value of r. So this r is now going to become the new variable. So therefore in the integral which is visible here in the equation number 2, in this integral, in the place of integrand, we can substitute that integrating polynomial. When we substitute that integrating polynomial in which the variable is r, we should not have dx here, we should change it to dr, and even the limits are to be changed for r. So here basically they are for x. So integration was with respect to x, therefore the limit, lower limit will be for x is equal to x naught and upper limit will be x is equal to x naught plus 4h. Now we have to change this dx to dr. So what happens to that we will see. So when it becomes with respect to r, because this has become now totally a function of r. X has gone, the variable is now changed to r. Therefore this x has to be changed, dx has to be changed to dr. Once we change dx to dr with something multiplied with that, we are now asked to change the limits also. So what will be the limits? Limits will be for r. So lower limit will be r equal to something. What is that? We will calculate. And r is equal to something, the upper limit, what is that? We will calculate. So that is our objective. So now let us proceed to do that work over here. So here we have got this simplified expression in 3. Now let us use this expression x is equal to x naught plus rh. X is equal to x naught plus rh is here. So dx is nothing but differential of x, differential of constant is 0. H as it is a constant, differential of r is dr. So now we can write in place of dx h dr. We are happy. Now we can replace dx with the h dr, no problem. Now what are the lower limit and upper limits? So first of all let us consider the lower limit. When x is equal to x naught, what happens? We know that x is equal to x naught plus rh. We know that x is equal to x naught plus rh, but now we are taking x is equal to x naught, the lower limit. So this is x naught here, the value of x as x naught, but x has been defined like this. Now lower limit is telling like this. You can simplify this by cancellation. So RHS will be only 0. LHS is r into h. RHS is 0. So here h can be divided on the other side, 0 divided by h. Sorry, it is 0. So therefore r value will be simply 0. So we got the lower limit for r. Now what is the upper limit for r? That we shall discuss. So here again, what is that? The upper limit is x naught plus 4h. We all know. That is x value is x naught plus 4h. Now we shall write this value over here. That is x naught plus 4h. So x naught, x is equal to x naught plus 4h. But x value is x naught plus rh, which we have known just earlier. Now x naught plus rh is equal to x naught plus 4h. You simplify this by cancelling these two. Now h can be cancelled from both sides. What is remaining? R is equal to 4 is remaining. That's why we are having the limit, that is the upper limit, r equal to 4 at this point. So I hope you understood how to get the lower and upper limit. So let us substitute those values in the integral 2. Integral 2 is the value of y4 we are computing with y0 here in the first place on the right hand side, plus The integral is now r equal to 0 to 4, the new limits, and the new integrand, which is the interpolating polynomial of f of x comma y using forward interpolation, Newton's forward interpolation. Now here in place of dx we have substituted h dr. That is also very straightforward. In the next step we can take this r h to the other side, that is we can take h before the integral and integral as it is. Now in the next step, what is the next step? Next step is the evaluation of integral. That's all. Integration we have to perform. So what is that? I will explain you here. Keep these things as they are, y naught as it is, h as it is. Now integration we are doing, f naught is a constant as it is. Integration of 1 we have to do, delta f of f naught is a constant, keep it as it is. Integration of r square we have to do, delta square divided by 2 is a constant, keep as it is. We have to integrate this particular thing. Now delta cube divided by 6 as it is. We have to integrate this quantity with respect to r, everything with respect to r. So what that gives us? That gives us this thing. So you please observe, integration of 1 is r, limits are 0 the lower, 4 the upper limit. Integration of r is r square by 2, lower limit is 0, upper limit is 4, delta f naught is constant. Here f naught is constant, plus 1 by 2 into delta square f naught is constant. Integration of r square is r cube by 3 minus integration of r is r square by 2. The limits 0, 4, it is over. Now come to the last term, 1 by 6 into delta cube f naught, that is a constant, keep it as it is. So the integration of the bracket is this much. So integration of r cube is r to the power of 4 by 4, 3 as it is, r square integration is r cube by 3, plus 2 as it is, integration of r is r square by 2. Limits are 0 the lower limit, 4 the upper limit. So now in the next step we have to substitute the values of upper limit 4 and then minus r equal to 0 in the lower limit, in the place of r. If we substitute the lower limit, we observe that everything is 0 because each term is containing r, therefore each term after simplification becomes 0. So therefore there is no question of any term on the right hand side with the lower limit. Only the upper limit will be giving us some value, and that value after simplification we will get this particular thing. So y4 is equal to y naught plus h into 4 f naught, 8 into delta f naught as it is, 20 by 3 into delta square f naught as it is, plus 8 by 3 into delta cube f naught as it is. So this is the expression I am going to get. Now I can use the definition of forward differences. I can use the definition of forward differences. What is the value of delta f naught? What is the value of delta square f naught? What is the value of delta cube f naught? We know that delta f naught is f1 minus f naught. Delta square f naught is f2 plus minus 2f1 plus f naught. So like that we can use the definition of delta cube f naught also. So on using them and on collecting the like terms, that is f1 term, f2 term and f3 term together, we come to know that the predictor formula is this thing. The formula is y naught plus 4h by 3 into the bracket 2f1 minus f2 plus 2f3. F naught term will not be there, that will get cancelled and it will become 0. So only f1, f2, f3, these three terms are there in the formula. This formula is known as Mylan's predictor formula, and it is denoted by y4p because it is the value, it is giving us the value of y at x power, there is y4. So it is to be denoted as y4p. Thus we can write this formula in this fashion. So y4p is equal to y naught plus 4h by 3, outside the bracket it is the coefficient that comes due to some simplification. That's all, there is no great thing in that, only some simplification taking common, that gives 4h by 3. Within the bracket 2f1 minus f2 plus 2f3, these are the three terms involved, and you calculate what is f1. F1 is nothing but f at x1 comma y1. What is f2? F value at x2 comma y2, like that. So these three values can be computed and substituted to evaluate the value of y4, and this value is called as the predicted value. So this is the correct predictor formula. It is not the iterative formula, therefore we have to do only once. It is a direct formula. It gives us the only one that is the value. It is explicitly it gives us the answer. We have to proceed for the next formula, that is the correct formula, and that is also to be derived in the same way, and that we shall do in the next class. So therefore I request you people to again look at this textbook for your further reference. So I hope this is enough right now. So let me thank all of you for watching the video. Thank you once again.